What up? What up? We back for episode 4, I believe.
Episode 4, nephew. Episode 4.
And today we talk about some good stuff, man. But I didn't throw the banner on yet because we got some special guests today. So who
Well,
is that beside you, man?
they are special. But for all the viewers out there, we got another guest here. We actually got another contributor coming as well. We have, and I promised everybody last week that we would talk about NC State. We want to be fair to all the viewers who are in this area. And what better person to come up here and be a contributor today other than my wife, who is a diehard NC State fan, right? So we're gonna catch her in a bit. And we also have another contributor that's going to join us in a bit, having some technical difficulties, but it's all good. So introducing the Cornbread commentary, everybody in the Cornbread commentary world. This is Brooks, the NC State fan.
God.
Get out of here. So, nephew, what's good with you, man?
So to accommodate these state fans, I even took the liberty to change the banners to red today.
Oh man.
So it's the little details. I'll be trying to make everybody comfortable. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I hear you, but don't get too comfortable. So, I'm sure she appreciates it, but I don't. So, anyways, so man, we got a lot to talk about today. Mainly, we're going to talk about some NC State stuff, as promised. Right? Yeah. NC State's facing East Carolina. I believe that is your alma mater.
Yeah, that is my alma mater, man. That's alma mater.
Who? I'm gonna ask real quick, and we're gonna get into it. Who you rooting for?
I'm rooting for Carolina.
Okay. Wow. So, okay. All right. So let's jump into it. We'll get to that in a second. That's going to be nice and saucy. We got some really good questions, too, for the NC State contributors today. But first things first, ladies first.
Well, actually, before we get to that,
okay.
We like to plug small. Well, I ain't gonna say small, but local business people that we know. Right. So I just want to plug my boy on Instagram, Vintage Lee Co. His name is Taquan Nolan. If you can see this shirt right here, he made vintage shirts. And
Pop it out for us.
I have about 4 shirts. I have about 4 of his shirts, and actually he made this one special for me for graduation because I'm a KD fan. So I want to shout you out, bro. I know you watching, and I know you're gonna see this. So I didn't ask you, but I went ahead and did it because I feel like it's something positive. So yeah, if you need vintage shirts, or you have an idea that you want to put on the shirt, hit him up on Instagram. His Instagram is right here, and he'll try to make it happen for you.
So I got a question, nephew. If I go get one of my old photos out of the scrapbook, right, of me pulling a nice finger roll, can he hook me up?
He probably could hook you up. Man. Hey, he nice with it. I ain't gonna lie. And he meticulous with it. So it's the little details.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, check out Vintage League on Instagram. You see it at the bottom of the screen. We're going to shout them out all day. But now we're going to get into the topics, right? So I know you've been paying attention. As I said, ladies first. We got the lady on the show today, Serena Williams. Kudos to Serena Williams, right? And she was getting mad love last night. They gave her a nice little speech, but she advanced to the second round in the U.S. Open. So did you catch any of it?
Well, I actually don't watch tennis, but I watched that last night, and
right.
I figured they were gonna pull out all the stops just in case, but I didn't think she would lose. It was good to see all the faces in there, all the love she was getting shown, and I just wanted to ask, Brooks, how does it feel? Being a woman, seeing like somebody like that people call her the GOAT. How does that make you feel?
I mean, it's awesome, girl power, right? Like it doesn't matter what sport it is. Right. I mean, I think that's awesome, like all the way around. So super excited to see that.
I figured you would say something like that.
So with that being said, she goes on to the second round of the US Open. She faces I'm gonna tear this name up. So Johnston County. She's facing Annette Contivate. Second round. So for everyone, this could be the last time you get to see Serena Williams. Her legacy, not just her sister. If any of you know anything about their past. Her dad, King Richard, the movie,
Yeah.
about how he, really pushed those girls, man, living in a tough environment. But Compton, yeah, this could be one of the last times you see what they consider one of the GOATs in the tennis world, men's and women. So you might want to check that out. It's tomorrow night, I believe.
Yeah, Wednesday. I also heard her sister are playing doubles for the last time as well.
Right.
I don't know if that's tomorrow or when. I don't know. She mentioned it after after she won her match. I don't know the date of that, but I know they will be playing. She said she can't speak for her sister, but will be her last one. So playing
right.
doubles.
So all our viewers, anyone that's watching this after the show, you might want to check it out. You heard it here first. Like I said, we was really close to being one of the first ones to announce that retirement a couple of weeks ago. But anyway,
insiders, man.
Yeah, inside. So let's move on. WNBA. A lot of action this weekend.
Yeah,
I believe
Sun versus Sky.
Yeah. So I think the Storm got a nice little dub on the road, 76 to 73. And two big contributors, Brianna Stewart, big game, 24 points. Jewel Lloyd, 26 points. Very good matchup. Also, where you are, nephew, but I think that game was in Chicago. So the Connecticut Sun 68 over the Chicago Sky 63. And both teams got a dub on the road. So series 1 up for the Sun and also the Storm. What you got? What you think?
So the Sun, man, I was just looking at this. The Sun and the Sky, both of their starting fives are averaging at least 11 points. So that's major. That's very, very major. But I know the Sky did lose. I think her name is Kalia Cooper. I don't know if she's coming back, but she got hurt in the first round. She's one of their major players, so that could be a factor. But hey, man, if the Sun make it to the finals, hopefully I can slide to a game.
Maybe I can get me a ticket. Maybe I can go up there too.
Hey, man, it's in the middle of a casino, so you can be feeling like Chris Tucker and Rush Hour 2.
Hey, speaking of casino, we're gonna get off track, rabbit hole real quick. I saw UNLV football team. You know how they do the turnover chain? These cats have a turnover casino slot machine on the sideline.
Oh wow, that's tough.
Crazy. So I had to get off track. You segue to the casino, but back to WNBA. Candace Parker, man, had a solid game, but just not enough. Like
great game, great.
18 rebounds, 5 assists. Messed around, got a triple double.
She almost had a 5x5.
Yeah, I mean that was a great game, but not enough. So tune in. As we told you, we're gonna highlight everything, especially some of the female sports. So I think game 2 is tomorrow night at 8:00. Starting with the Sun and the Sky, and then game 2 follows at 10:00. On the West Coast.
Vegas. I would say the Aces, man. I wish that was a championship. I wish that was the final series, that Aces versus Seattle, because man, both of those teams. Whew.
Yeah. But it's gonna be must-see TV, right?
Yeah, must see, man. Tune in. This is not a ESPN Plus, but it's on our station, ESPN 2.
Hey, tune in. So, all right, man. Listen, while we're talking NC State today, we gotta talk a little bit Tar Heel, right? Right.
Yes, sir.
Nephew went to the game on Saturday. Yeah, appreciate that. Went to the game on Saturday, right?
Yeah.
And I was not impressed. I felt like there was a lackluster performance in the first half, and somewhat stunned, considering FAMU has some eligibility situations. And kudos to FAMU as well, because I just read a report where the football team decided that they were going to do a slight, protest against their university because of the way they're handling miscompliance. And these young men basically wanted to say it's not our grades. It's not about our grades. It's about just the leadership or the lack of leadership in the compliance department. That's a whole other story, right? And we talked about HBCUs and how they have to go an extra step. Sometimes they don't have the resources. But back to the game. What'd you think, man?
So I actually covered that game on Saturday, man, and it was rainy. the some of the cameras were not working, but that's beside the point, man. I thought the defense, it definitely showed that we have a new defensive coordinator.
Right.
Little mistakes.
New but old.
Little mistakes. Well, new to them guys. They like with the last year, I guess he was there, was when they cheated us against Clemson, but that's another story.
Facts.
It's Gene Chizik, he brings a discipline, man, and some of these guys are not there yet. So that showed. But hey, on offense, I feel like the running backs, man. Good Lord, one of the guys, he put himself at the number one spot for me. I feel like. I know you want to touch on that, so go ahead and say what you got to say.
Cool. A Joko kid.
Yeah, man. He was already in that.
Oh yeah, Morion, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I was waiting for that. Morion Hampton, man. 14 attempts, 104 yards. A bunch of touchdowns, 5 touchdowns. He was doing that at Cleveland High School. He did it for his whole career. Let me say this about the way he runs, right? If you're a Tar Heel, he reminds me of a Natron Means.
Yep.
Power runner, power back. And the kid has no fear, right? He's a true freshman. Yeah. Did not go to spring ball, from my understanding. So to be real, the sky's the limit. Carolina. Actually, Petaway did a real good job.
That's what I was gonna say, man. To me, the freshmen stuck out the most.
Right.
They separated themselves more than anybody to me. And I feel like Carter and what's his name? Williams, yeah. What they did, I feel like that's what we got, but they're gonna be on a different level.
Yeah, absolutely. And as our viewers are chiming in, they're saying, he's a hard runner. No denying that, right? But that was only game 1. Let's hope he stays healthy, right? And Drake May, I can't say. I think there's a lot more left for Drake May. Like, there's a lot left in the tank. Not a bad performance. Anytime you get 5 touchdowns, almost 300 yards, not a bad performance. I also think it goes back to I saw this a little bit last year, right?
Yeah.
Coaching, play calling. And that's what scares me a little bit. So overall, I give Carolina a B-.
Yeah.
I just think that it was a little bit more. Let's go into the next topic. We're going to App State next week.
Drake.
Right?
Hey, man.
So what scares you about that? What's your thoughts on App State and Carolina?
App State, what I don't say scared me, but like they play with no fear. They feel like anybody that go to their crib gonna lose. And we lost to them recently. So it's like y'all got to have some type of pride, some type of heart. Go get your face back so we can beat everybody else in North Carolina and run the state like we usually do. Right.
And I know the state fans over here burning up after that comment, but she's gonna have her moment to talk here in a bit. But App State, man, I'm gonna tell you what scares me about App State. Like you said, walking into that facility, man. If you've never been to that stadium, and I've been there several times, it's compact. It's right on top of you. It's going to get loud. And I was told Carolina fans, like over half of Carolina fans, bought up season tickets just so they can get a ticket to this game.
Wow.
And kind of going to resell the rest of the tickets. So hopefully that works out in our favor. Being that it is an in-state game. Mac Brown, I think, had a start at App State. Could be wrong. So
I think he had a stint there.
He did. So September the 3rd, 12 o'clock, Carolina, App State. On what network, nephew?
I feel like it's on ACC, but I'm not sure.
Come on. I'm trying to give you the plug.
Man, hey, they ain't paying me. They ain't paying me for this. Hey, I tell them to watch it on YouTube.
Oh, man, come on now. Hey, you didn't say that. So, all right, y'all, we're going to transition.
Yeah.
Tony, you got some nice gear on. Tell us about the gear, man.
If you're just joining the pod, man, we like to plug local businesses, people we know, anybody that's trying to do something positive. And this shirt right here, my homie made for me. I went to college with him. His name is Taquan Nolan. You can get his information below Vintage League Co. on Instagram. He makes vintage shirts. He has a Drake shirt. He has a MJ Kobe Memorial shirt, DMX, all that. So just go check it out. If you wanna inquire about getting something custom made, you can also hit him up on Instagram as well. But yeah, man, he do all that stuff, and it's good quality shirts. So
yeah, and also new to his lineup will be that Titus Blake throwback 2003. When I was about 180 pounds.
All muscle.
All muscle. I'm trying to get him to get that on the website because that's gonna be a hot product right there, man. That's what I think. 2003 edition of the TV, right?
Yeah.
I'm full of myself. All right.
That was gonna sell out quick, you know.
Yeah. You got to reorder.
The one shirt.
Yeah. One order. That's me, baby. That's all that matters. So listen. Now we're about to get to the meat and potatoes of this thing, right? We got NC State. We got East Carolina. I already see we have more East Carolina alum on the cast right now.
Let's go Pirates, man.
So you know what, man? This is what I'm gonna do, man. I'm gonna be fair because I'm not a State fan, right? I'm not an East Carolina fan, but I will tell you that East Carolina is the underdog, and I feel like they can pull this thing out, right, nephew? And I have my reasonings for saying that, right? East Carolina's got a lot of transfers that came from SEC schools, bigger schools, and they also have a lot of experience as well. So I think that this is going to be an interesting game, but you got to play the game first, right, to get the result. So now we're going to jump to our NC State contributor. You in the hot seat.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
He just moved up closer.
Oh yeah. So all right. So we got Miss Blake here. East Carolina, NC State. How do you feel about it?
I mean, of course I feel good about it.
Okay.
Wow. I mean, it's going to be a home game, so, it's going to be great. No, I mean, I think State's bringing back, 78% of their starters from last year. So, I mean, we've already got kind of like a leg up on that one. So, I mean, it's going to be a good game. Either way, I think it's going to be a great game. I'm really looking forward to watching it. I wish they were at different times, though. So,
she want to watch the Carolina game.
I mean, you play four of the largest schools in North Carolina all at the same time. I mean, kind of break it up a little bit. Come on, Tony.
That would be nice. So before we get into this, how'd you become a State fan? Why? That's what I want to know. Why?
Family legacy. I mean, my family, on my dad's side, it was definitely all State all the way. My grandfather came from absolutely nothing, and he went to State, graduated from State. Him and my grandmother actually lived in a trailer on what is now the soccer stadium at NC State. And she worked there on the campus while he was going to school, and he graduated with an engineering degree and went on to open up Sharon Harris. So he was vice president at Sharon Harris Power Plant. So, yeah, I mean, he's got a plaque at NC State. I mean, my dad went there. My brothers both went there.
So the roots are real strong.
Yeah, real deep roots.
So you're not a State fan by accident?
No.
All right. Okay.
Grew up, I mean, everything was State. Our girls swam for the State.
Don't tell everybody.
For 3 years. So,
and by the way, I have to say, did pretty darn good as well.
Yeah.
I was there rooting on the girls, not NC State, but so that's Miss Blake. We're gonna come back to you in a second, ladies and gentlemen. We have another contributor, NC State contributor, and some of you may know him. the one and only, the legendary Mr. Dexter Smith. What's going on, Mr. Smith? How you doing today?
How y'all doing this evening?
We doing good, man. Listen, we done talked about a lot of things so far. We talked about Carolina's last week. We talked about the WNBA. We talked about App State and Carolina. Now, since you're here and you're a State fan, it's time to bust you up a little bit, right?
Yeah.
All right. But before we get into it, before we bust you up, man, how'd you become a State fan? Why?
Oh, that's a good question. Believe it or not, before any of y'all were ever thought about being born back in the 70s, we were back then they had a lot of ACC games just come on TV. You know, TV wasn't like it is now. You have ESPN, right. You had the local channels. Right. And so my brother is a big time Carolina fan, but he likes good basketball too. He's 10 years older than I am. My brother's 10 years older than I am. And we were watching, I think, Carolina State play back then. State was playing somebody, but the talk was David Thompson. That's everybody talked about David Thompson, David Thompson. And so I think State happened to be on TV that night, and it's kind of like, okay, I just like State. And so ever since then, I've been a State fan. Like I said, it's been back since the 70s, since I knew what ball was, and I pulled for them since that time. That's how I became a State fan.
So definitely not a bandwagon. I don't even know if you can even say State has bandwagon fans, but anyways, definitely diehard fan.
And I do want to say this for y'all that don't know, I call him Uncle Dexter. He is my godfather. So,
man, you shouldn't have told anybody that. But listen, we gonna move on. All right. So, Ms. Blake, tell us about one of the most memorable State moments. We're gonna keep the State football. There's plenty more basketball to talk about down the road, right? So let's talk football today. What was the most memorable NC State football moment that you remember?
Oh gosh, I remember this one vividly. Ty and I actually went to this game. It was, what was it, 2014, NC State, Florida State. That game will always stick with me because State was winning. I mean, we weren't supposed to. Jameis Winston was quarterback, like Jameis Winston had just come back from his 1-game suspension, and he played us, and he came back with a chip on his shoulder.
Because the crowd was being dumb, yelling crab legs, crab legs.
Well, we were too, so don't even.
So, if y'all don't know about Jameis Winston crab legs, you should go look it up. But anyway, I'm sorry.
So Ty and I were there, and it was getting ready to go. We were about to go at halftime, and State was ahead, and the crowd was just ridiculously loud. I mean, it was
drunk.
Of course, but it was pretty rowdy in there. And Ty and I kind of both looked at each other, and we were like, this isn't going to end well. No. Even though State was ahead by so much, we were kind of like blowing out Florida State. The calmness that Jameis had on him was eerie. And sure enough, I mean, he came out from halftime and destroyed us.
So it wasn't a good memory.
It wasn't a good memory, but I just remember sitting there, and it was just so weird just watching that calmness over somebody who was like down, he was having issues anyways, and then he comes back and he was just like, you know what, I'm here to play and win, and I'm going to do it. Watch me do it. Nobody believed it. So
a summary from a State fan is he pretty much realized y'all were garbage at that moment.
Oh no, but it was not happened.
I know how you feel, Brooke. I was at that game too. I was at that game too, Brooke. I was in the end zone, and somebody had given. In fact, a guy had blessed me and my wife with tickets, and so we went to the game. And like you said, State was up, and I was feeling good about the first half, but I looked at her and I told her, I said, they're gonna lose second half. And of course, my wife, she's a Carolina fan, and she was talking about, you shouldn't say that about your team. I said, these people in here too happy.
Yes.
I said, there's just too much excitement in here. I said, something bad gonna happen.
Yeah,
and the second half, I believe somebody told Jameson, if you throw a couple touchdowns, we got some more crab legs for you. And he went to work. He ate them up.
Well, listen, what about any good memories? I mean, hey, me and nephew, we've been quiet.
Yeah.
Any good memories?
Hey, look, I'm just telling it like it is. I mean, they were doing good, but in the second half, I mean, he got a shot of crab legs and he went to work. I mean, he ate them up, man.
Something happened during halftime. I
It
don't
has to
know.
be
It was the crab
Somebody went
legs.
down to Food Lion. I don't know.
It was the crab legs, the garlic butter.
Yeah.
Hey, lobster sauce. I don't know what
He
it
went to
was,
Red
but man,
Lobster,
he lost his
something.
mind in the second half.
Man. All right, well, okay. All right. Another memorable NC State football game that you attended, remember. What you got there? I mean, is there anything good?
Ooh, yeah, I got two good ones. The first one was they had blackout night on a Thursday, and they was playing Louisville, and it was Lamar's last year, Lamar Jackson's last year.
Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, because I saw him his freshman year when they played state his freshman year, and he ran over there like it was a video game that freshman year. So that his junior year, I saw him, and it was Bradley Chubb that year when they had all the players, Bradley Chubb, Naheem, and all those guys. They spanked them. They really played ball that night. And it was on Thursday night, blackout night, and they beat them. And then the next night, the next good game was those Tar Heels, and they came over there on a Thursday night.
It don't
And
happen too often.
all I know is they took Carolina. We helped Larry get out of town. We bent him over like that, and he go. That was it.
We got to go. Shout out to Terry Thompson, another state fan up here tonight, man. Man,
We
listen.
beat the brakes off y'all that night. In
Say
fact, it was so bad that they even called it and asked me that I want to run the play. I said, "No, that's all right. I still gotta do it. I ain't want to do
I
it."
know
man.
you lied.
They
That must
asked
have
me.
been
I
great.
said, "No." I said, "That's all right."
Hey,
Man,
we got some questions for y'all state fans, man. We got some, well, specifically y'all too.
Okay.
So I can tell you want me to go ahead and ask the first one.
Watch out, bro.
Go ahead.
You know they set this up.
Yeah,
Go
All
ahead,
right.
go ahead, go ahead.
All right, so whoever wants to go first, who is the best coach in NC State football history?
Brooke.
You want me to go? Okay.
Yeah.
So I do not like him. I just don't. I would have to say it is Dave. I'm not a fan, but looking over the record and everything, I'm gonna have to say Dave.
Ladies and gentlemen, she's talking about the current coach, Dave Doran, the most boringest man
He is very.
in all of football. I think Tom O'Brien would have a little bit more flair than Dave.
Now, I
Doran.
personally like Tom O'Brien. I do. I thought he was. I mean, he was a military man, so he's very like, this is what y'all are gonna do. Like he didn't play.
You can't like the guy that kicked Russell Wilson out. But go ahead, Dexter Smith. Favorite? Who's your favorite coach?
Believe it or not, I'm gonna go way back. I'm gonna go back to a guy named Dick Sheridan. He was back the previous year before he came. He was at Furman University, Division II school, and I was there at the game in which they thumped NC State. They beat them pretty bad. And so the next year he got the job at State. And before he got sick or whatever personal problems he had, I do believe that he had them coming up because they were playing better. I think with him there, I think they only had one. If my memory serves me correctly, they only had one losing season. They went 4-6 or something like that. But the reason why is because they had a lot of injuries. Not blamed on injuries, but they had a lot of injuries. But I think Dick Sheridan's a person that he kind of got the program going in the right direction. Because before that, they had some guy named Tom Reed. I don't know who that cat was, but they had him out there, and he thought he was doing a Pop Warner team or something. Because they got beat every week for 3 years while he was there. But I think Dick Sheridan was a good guy.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say Dick Sheridan is probably the most, from a legacy standpoint, you know.
Just Anthony played for him.
Yeah, and we his name is going to come up here in a bit as well. Shout out Mr. Anthony, my bowling partner. We undefeated, by the way. We got another viewer, Mr. Terry Thompson. He said Chuck Amano. Actually, I was a Chuck the Chess fan.
He was good in the beginning, but his later seasons he stunk it up like real bad. So I mean, he came into it strong, I feel like.
I think Chuck had probably some of the better state
players, yeah.
And maybe didn't pan out.
I think this is what I think. This is just me. I like Chuck because it was like a breath of fresh air, but he just couldn't cheat there like he could at Florida State, and so that's why we just couldn't win no more games. See, we ain't had the kind of money that Florida State got to cheat and get players in there. But if we could have got that pipeline from Florida up to North Carolina, we'd have probably done pretty good.
Lou Holtz?
Huh?
No Lou Holtz?
I was getting so what about Lou Holtz?
I mean, when Lou was there, I was in diapers. I don't know nothing about that cat. I don't know too much about him. But like I said, I think to me, Dick was about the best one.
Okay.
Gotcha. So we got another viewer. Shout out, what up, Cameron Stanson? Actually, you took one of our questions, right? Who do you consider to be the best player that ever come out of NC State? Dexter?
Who do I consider to be the best player? Oh man, it would probably have to be Ted Brown, and the reason why I say that because for a long time he was the rushing leader for the ACC, and he held that thing for years, man.
Years, man, like 3-4 years.
He held that thing for a lot of years. I mean, it was like in the 70s, and I think it wasn't until like in the late 2000s somebody finally overtook him. I'm not sure if my history is right, but it was somebody in the 2000s finally overtook him. But he held that thing for a long time.
He still leads state in rushing right now.
I don't think anybody's topped that record. There might be some touchdown records or something, but
nobody at state has got his record. But it was for the whole ACC. He was at the very top. Yeah, he was at the very top, and somebody got him the last couple of years. I forgot who it was, but it was like in the 2000s. Somebody overtook.
Probably a Tar Heel. Probably a Tar Heel.
No, it wasn't them crooks from Florida State. It wasn't nobody from Kentucky. No, not Carolina. No.
We're gonna look this up.
Y'all only good for running around Franklin Street after y'all beat Duke. Y'all ain't good for running nowhere else. And Florida State, they good for running from the police. So anytime they see strike,
there's a lot of Florida State.
Anytime they see strike, they gonna take off running. So when them boys got the lead. I'm just telling like it is.
Terry Thompson is really coming in with these facts. McIntosh was the closest to 10. You remember McIntosh?
McIntosh was good. Also, the other young man, he came when Amato got him. T.A.
You're not talking about Tony Baker, are you?
No. T.A. McClendon.
Oh, T.A.
T.A. McClendon. He was real good.
T.A. stats, I looked at stats earlier, and I think he was somewhere around at 33 career touchdowns, 3,000 yards. He was still under 10.
But he had injuries, and then he had other field issues. So.
Yeah, some typical NC State issues.
Thank you. I thought we weren't going to talk about
that. Yeah. So, all right. So let's keep this going. All right.
No, she didn't answer her. She didn't tell us who her player was.
Yeah. Who you got there, Blake? You ain't got to say. I know you want to say Dexter Smith, but you don't have to.
Okay, I'll save that for next time then.
I need to stop. Double is a lie.
I mean, I guess for me in my lifetime, I would have to say Russell Wilson, just because he played for 3 seasons. I mean, when he left, there's always going to be that speculation about what he would have done his senior year. So that, I mean, to me, like, he blew it out in Wisconsin. So for me as a state fan, it's kind of like a bittersweet. It's like, man, I'm glad that he did so well. I kind of would have liked to see what he would have done with us.
Yeah,
so
me too.
So, all right, I'm gonna do this, nephew. You and I. Mm-hmm. Who is that state guy? I remember I asked this about Duke basketball, Duke, a couple weeks ago. Who is that state guy that you like that we're not supposed to like?
I got 2. One, because he's just like an uncle to me. Anthony Barber, man. Just knowing him as a person, and then how humble he is, and just to know like what he did on the field, but he don't talk about it. Like if you ask him right now where his ring's at, he probably wouldn't even know because he really don't care about that stuff like that. But Anthony Barber, and Naheem Hines because I played three. Naheem Hines because I played against him, and Johnny Frazier.
You like a steak man, bro. What's going on?
Get your list out, Tony.
I just played against these guys, man, and just to see them, grow. That's dope to me.
Man, no good talent. What's wrong with y'all?
Man.
Keep it going.
What about you? What about you?
We got to talk after this. But I was not old enough to be able to see him play. Thank God for older classic like ESPN stuff where you can actually go back and see some of that YouTube. I did see some highlights just to kind of say, oh yeah, this dude nice. Really is nice. One thing about him, he reminds me of a lot of running backs that are successful because his feet would never stop moving. His feet was always moving. Naheem, being that both of those guys are from Garner, kind of had a similar flash and flair, and just played and very humble. Naheem, very humble guy too. But my favorite NC State player, because I was a receiver, man, has to be Torrey Holt.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Has to be Torrey Holt. So Torrey, man, just dude, I hated to see him, on the field when he was at AC State. Of course, when he left, I was glad I didn't root for the guy. But man, go look at the guy's hands now. They just jacked up because the boy was a bad boy. It was sacrificed. His his body played with he had a high IQ. So I have to say Torrey Holt is that guy for me.
Okay.
And I won't say that too loud, Torrey Holt.
All right, I got a question. I think I want to. I like where we at right now. So I'll go to Aunt Brooks first. If you could name your just one your all-time favorite NC State quarterback, running back, and wide receiver.
Okay. Quarterback, just one.
Yeah,
okay.
just one.
I said Russell Wilson before. I'll change it up. I'll say Phillip Rivers. I'm gonna throw him into the mix.
Okay.
Receivers, I'd have to say Jericho Cotchery.
I knew she was gonna say that one. Yeah.
Okay. And then running backs. I mean, I liked Matt Days. So yeah, I'm gonna throw him into it too.
That's actually pretty decent. All right,
yeah, 34 touchdowns. That's tough.
Yeah. Matt Davis was tough. Deb, who you got, man?
Russell and Phillip have to be a tie, but if I had to pick one, I'd probably pick Russell because not only could he throw, but he could do things with his legs. I like that part. That's where he would get the edge because he could do things.
Had to do things with his legs.
He learned very quickly.
Hey, gotta find a way to win a game, man.
Yeah.
Of course, my running back, I'm gonna stick with Ted Brown. I mean, they had some good ones, but just like I said, I gotta stick with Ted Brown. And wide receiver, I'd have to go with Torrey Holt.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. We go with Brooks first. Now we kind of gave you top three. You can use your age, the decade, whole 9 yards, right? What you know about NC State. If it's a guy that's that's standing on statue when you walk into, just because he's got a statue, probably pretty good. So, who is your NC State Mount Rushmore?
So for me, it would be like 2 quarterbacks and 2 receivers. So for me, it would be Wilson and Phillips. Phillips and Rivers. Sorry, I had a moment. And then I'd have to say Cotchery.
I'll give you another one. Add one more.
I mean, I like T.A. McClendon, so I'd have to kind of throw him up there too, maybe.
Okay.
I think I liked Garrett Bradbury. I liked him. So possibly, I mean, he did a lot of things. Like without him, it really showed.
All right. Now I got to ask a question before we go to you, Det. No Nate Irvin. No Mario Williams.
No Nick Chubb. Oh, is it Bradley Chubb?
All right.
Y'all took my 2 because I'd put them. I was gonna put Mario and Bradley up there, and I was gonna put like I said, I still got to stay with Ted Brown because of what he did, and then probably I probably have to give Phillip the edge over Russell on this one because I think he played in more bowl games. I think, in fact, I want to say for 4 years they went to bowl games while he was there, and I think they won the majority of their bowl games too while he was there. That was another thing, and it always helps when you go 3-1 against Carolina. Always put you on the mountain. Always put you on the mountain. So don't look at it like that because you're right.
Eat the cake, anime. Eat the cake, anime. Hey, listen. Nobody talk about Jamie Barnett.
He was nice, but I'm sorry. He was good. Don't get me wrong. He was good, but like I said, I'd have to go with Phillip and Ted and Mario and Bradley. I think those four right there. And I got to give the defensive guys some love because a lot of times when we think football, people always go straight to the offensive side. But you got that. If you don't have a defense that'll get the ball back for you, that's something to think about. And I have to give this guy honorable mention, Manny Lawson, because he went off the basketball court. This guy came off the basketball court and started playing football, and actually ended up going to the NFL and getting drafted. So that tells you this guy was athletic. He was an athlete.
I got a story on Manny real quick, man. Back in my day, we had a little 707. We went to Eastern Wayne. That's where Manny went to high school. Swan P, remember this? Shout out Swan P. What's going on? Swan, I don't know if you remember this, man. Manny, literally, I'm already thinking I got this interception. Boom, 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 boom. I'm going back, and I'm going to take it from him. This dude comes over my body, grabs the ball like this, pulls it back, tiptoes in the end zone, laugh at me, said, "Got you, Blake." I said, "Wow."
You should have kicked that boy in the chest. That wasn't even funny.
All I did was I showed him some love, man. I showed him some love, man. I had to, dude. Dude was real. And the funny thing is, I didn't even know he was going to NC State to go play football. Me and him actually would talk chit-chat. Was before, the Facebook and all that. We talked the best we could. Lost touch with him. And but dude was raw. I'm telling you, I seen the dude come over my shoulder, grab the ball, grab my interception, and tiptoe. And look, I got you 10. So Manny Lawson definitely was a baller at NC State. I think what position did he play at NC State? Didn't he play defense?
I think he was on the other defensive end or a linebacker, something like that. But I know either he was a defense. I think he was on one defensive end and Mario had the other side, if I'm not mistaken. I think both of them was on the line. I know he blocked a lot of punts and field goals.
He did. Yeah, he did.
He did a lot of that.
Okay, all right. So we talked about the top running backs. We talked about Mount Rushmore. We talked about the coach. Mm-hmm. All right. NC State. I got to give y'all a little bit of credit here. This is one of my pet peeves as a Tar Heel. One of the loudest crowds in the ACC.
True. When they in there,
State game, man, it's crazy.
When they in there, you can't leave and come back when you're losing and winning now.
And look, y'all stadium be packed, and we can't hear nothing out of y'all. I don't understand that. All y'all have all that powder blue and all that stuff like that, and y'all in there sipping wine and eating crackers. I don't understand y'all stadium.
You know. You don't hear that.
Can you?
I don't hear nothing out of you guys. Carolina, you don't hear nothing out of y'all game. Y'all cheer more louder y'all cheer louder at the girls' soccer game and lacrosse game than y'all do the football game.
Check this out. All right, check this out. Half of y'all fans come from Spivey Corner. So, I mean, come on now. Half of them went to the following contest in 1993 to 2000.
Look, Ty, be honest. When we play football here in my backyard, we have more noise at our game than y'all got at y'all home game. Y'all got 60,000 people, man. We have 4 people in the backyard. We have 4 people in the backyard. Y'all got 60,000 up there in blue and white, walking around like they at a fashion show, trying to look pretty and everything. And you can't hear them.
Missing their teeth anyway, so it don't matter.
You don't even
man.
Look, Nick, what do you get when you put a whole group of NC State cheerleaders together?
Wait.
A whole set of teeth.
Okay.
I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying. So we're gonna give you today is y'all's day. All you State fans, come on Come get it. Come get it. Because we got plenty more. Where you at, Donna Madison? You a dude.
Yeah, hey,
I know.
That's right, Bishop Thompson. They bougie. All them people in Carolina bougie. They bougie and ugly.
Man.
Look, y'all ain't thinking. When y'all go to the game, y'all ain't thinking about the game, man. Y'all ain't thinking about the game when y'all go to the game.
Listen.
Y'all don't be thinking about basketball game.
What'd you say, big bro? At least we sipping wine and cheese and crackers. We winning.
Look, you just started winning. Larry had y'all going back the other way, and Butch about to put y'all in prison. That's where y'all about to be at, messing with Butch. He about to put y'all in prison. Y'all know, we glad we got Butch.
We got to play Butch.
We glad we got Butch. We glad we got Butch. You know what y'all were going to do? A click it or ticket campaign. That's what Butch was going to do for you guys. That's what y'all getting ready to go.
Well, I tell you, we're talking all that noise, man. Listen, all right, so all this noise talking, we want to know right now. I don't care how you look at it. How you got to say it. We want to know. Okay.
Look, y'all just played a team that didn't have nobody. They players they ain't eligible. They went down to
more band members. They did football.
Well, I mean, you know, that rattler step, you know.
Don't even.
What did they do? They went down to Miami Junior Varsity High School and picked up some players. So y'all want to play? And they said, yeah, we'll play. And they went up to Chapel Hill and played the game. That's what they did.
Time out. Don't play the game. Right? State plays every year.
I guarantee you, half them boys that went back to FAMU had to go back and check in before 12 o'clock because they didn't want to get their time extended in the prison. Them boys had to go back and get back early, man. That's what they did.
Every year. Hold on.
Come on, you know it.
Hey, Tom Suter used to say, go back to the videotape. Every year, State will play.
Look, and tell Scott Blake to take that lie out about State is a scrimmage game on our schedule, because that ain't what it is. He know the last couple of years, we like, that's what we've been doing at Hind Park.
When you got 5 tune-up games before you get to
what now? Look,
NC State every year will play 5 tune-up games.
I keep hearing y'all. I keep hearing y'all Carolina fans always say about State. They got an easy schedule. Y'all play Appalachian State and can't beat them. So I don't want to hear nothing from y'all. They came to y'all field and
we started out last year with Virginia State. That's what y'all started out with. Y'all went down to Winston to play.
App State beat y'all. I even put money on Shaw with St. All. They'll probably beat y'all. They'll just beat y'all for just
Hey, boy, let me check your forehead.
Hey, State be playing ICDC college, man. Stop it.
Look, I don't want to look. I don't want to hear no more about that easy schedule stuff. When y'all play easy opponents, y'all don't even beat them. Y'all don't even beat them.
You got East Carolina.
A couple years ago, who beat y'all? Oh, Johnson Tate beat y'all a couple years ago. They just put a team together. Johnson Tate beat y'all a couple of years ago. I don't want to hear that stuff. Y'all can't even beat Cleveland Rams. Look, y'all can't even beat Cleveland Rams, man.
Y'all
can't beat Cleveland High School.
5 games y'all play nobody.
Y'all cannot even beat Cleveland High School. Y'all had to go get a player from Cleveland just to beat them. So I don't want to hear that from y'all.
I tell you what.
Y'all let the still play for Cleveland. Y'all let the still play for Cleveland. Man, I don't want to hear nothing about no easy schedule. I don't hear nothing else about playing cupcakes for easy schedule.
Will you
No. Don't tell me nothing like that.
East Carolina on Saturday.
Let's go to something else. All right, because y'all need.
On Saturday.
I put y'all up against Fayetteville State, and only thing y'all see is FSU, and y'all go out there and lose by 20 points. That's all y'all see. FSU. That's all y'all see.
Listen to my question. How do you feel about East Carolina?
That's right, Bishop T. The Selma Yellow Jackets will punish them right now. I believe it. Because they'll probably think it's Georgia Tech. They'll think they're playing Georgia Tech. That's what they'll do.
Well, look,
man, you got me coming out of my hat now. I didn't want to take my hat out, but you got me coming out of my hat now.
Ladies and gentlemen, these are 2 preachers talking like this. Forgive them, for they know not what they say. Anyway,
yes, we do. We know what we say.
All right. You got East Carolina on Saturday. You got a lot of talk coming. Are you gonna beat East Carolina?
Now, all jokes to the side. Going down listen to me for real. Going down to Greenville and playing those guys is something different. When they play ACC schools in Greenville, they'll get hyped up for the game. And I say this from experience because I went a couple years ago and watched them play A&T, and I thought it was gonna be like a cakewalk. And they ended up losing that game. It was like they were going through the motions. Like they could feel this. But if you bring an ACC school down there if they feel like they got something to prove down there. Now you were talking about earlier, people with no teeth. That's where you need to go to down there. You talking about no teeth? That's where you need to go.
Hey,
no teeth, and they really draw practice down there.
Do you have a degree from East Carolina, Mr. Smith?
Don't tell nobody. Don't you tell nobody that.
Who you rooting for on Saturday? Who you rooting for?
Oh, I'm going for state, man. I'm going for state all day.
Let's look at the numbers, right? All right.
Okay.
East Carolina, seven of their guys are transfers.
Okay.
So East Carolina, Mike Houston, what, second year coach, maybe third year?
Third year.
You know, they squeezed into a bowl. Both of them kind of got both State and East Carolina both had a bowl game opportunity. Both had to cancel their bowl game last year because of COVID.
Right.
So both teams are ready to rock and roll. State was looking to get 10 wins. East Carolina was looking to get some advancement, being better than what they had in the past.
They were just looking to get a win. That's all they wanted, a win.
Right. East Carolina has a nice little sophomore running back. Dude had almost 1,200 yards last year.
Mm-hmm.
He had 9 TDs, 174 attempts. They also have the Greenville kid. God, I lost his name.
Well, wide receiver or the quarterback?
The quarterback, left-hander. It's going to come to me in a second. What's that?
Holton Ahlers.
Yeah. There you go. He's experienced. He's seen a lot of football. Too, man. By the way, me and Donald Madison went to a game last year. We were talking about him. He's not flashy, but he gets the job done. Mm-hmm. Also, there was a transfer from Georgia that went to East Carolina. Mr. Dalen Johnson, didn't have the best of career at Georgia. That's why he transferred, but the kid is capable. And so there are 6 of 11 starters for East Carolina are transfers. So you have some experience, but you can also say there's probably a lack of knowledge of the offense. NC State, on the other hand, and pick me up here, bro. You guys are returning what, like 16 starters?
I think it's 17.
Yeah, almost 16 starters.
Yeah, on both sides.
But they bringing their quarterback back.
Bring the quarterback, which is already got like some kind of ACC of your honor. This actually could be an evenly matched game. Vegas has State as an 11-point favorite. So, do you think NC State will come out victorious?
I say 34-17 State.
Okay. What you got, Deb?
Close your mouth.
34-17.
34-17. Brooke, you got a lot of confidence.
I sure did.
You got a lot of confidence. It depends. You know what? Really and truly, State should not going by paper, because I'm not going by that right there. Mm-hmm. I believe State should win. It's one of those things that they should go down there and play and win the game. But the thing is, it's like this. It's one of those things where it's one of those teams that you're supposed to beat, and then you do stupid things and let that team hang around, and they get more confidence as they begin to hang around. If it's close going to the third quarter, I'm gonna give the edge to ECU simply because they're at home. Mm-hmm. If State is up maybe two touchdowns or 15 points or better, because the thing about East Carolina is when they play at home, they are prone to throw that interception or fumble the ball when they're about to gain momentum, and it takes the air out of the whole stadium. Mm-hmm. And if something like that happens, then State has a chance. But if it's like 3 points, if State's up by 3 points and East Carolina is with the ball or something like that, I'm gonna give it to ECU. I'm sorry, Brooke. I just got to be honest. But 34-17, I can't go. I'm sorry. I can't go there. I can't give State 34 points that fast.
I got a question for him. What quarterback you think will shine the brightest?
That's a good question. You expecting Leary to go off, but then I got to look at the other gentleman. He may go out there and say, "Well, look, I'm gonna prove to y'all that I'm just as good as he is." Mm-hmm. And so he may do that. And then here's something that people don't look at too. Let's just say that the guy from the starting QB from East Carolina doesn't do as well, and they bring a backup in, and he go out there and say, "Well, look, I ain't got nothing to lose," and he go out there and just play out his mind. Funny things happen. Funny things happen during games.
Yeah.
You know, funny things happen. I mean, you think about, and I go back to the NFL. You look at Tom Brady, how he got started. There was an injury. He came out there and played like with nothing to lose. Now here he is, 80 years later, still playing.
Yeah. All right, so I want to go back to something you said about State going down to Greenville. The last 5 matchups is even. 5 and 5 even. Right down. Bubba was like 50-50. All right, so 2019, the game was in Raleigh. State got the dub. 2018, the game was in Raleigh. State got the big time dub. 2016, that was, I believe, Ryan Finley's year. State took an L. 2013, State took an L. That game was in Raleigh. 2010, they went to Greenville. It went in overtime. 2008, and I'll stop there, went in overtime. Both of those overtimes were split. East Carolina got a dub. State got a dub. I think this is the one game in Vegas is saying, based off of history, right? Based off of NC State's players. Got to remember, NC State is bringing back the Wilson kid, Peyton Wilson, who went out with a shoulder injury last year, and Isaiah Moore, who went out with ankle injury. So there's a lot of experience on NC State's team based off of injury and COVID. But same thing to be said for East Carolina. Now, I'm going to throw a little caveat in this thing, right? Ruffin McNeil is coming home. How does that play into it a little bit for you, Brooks?
I mean, I think he's got something to prove now. So he's coming back. Possibly he's got a chip on his shoulder. You don't know. So we'll see.
He is the special assistant to Dave Doran.
Yeah.
So, well, that thing that's got it's a storyline. Is it an important storyline?
It's not much. I mean, if he was coming back as the head coach of NC State going to East Carolina, then yeah, it would be hyped up. But I mean, and I'm not downplaying his role as a special assistant. Don't get me wrong, I'm not downplaying his role as a special assistant. But it's different when you go from one school to another school to be the head coach. That changes.
Right.
You know,
right.
This would have been hyped up last year, all the way up to this year. But it's like, okay, he's coming back home. And he's gonna see some people that he know, and they're gonna laugh and joke and blase. But at the end of the day, he's gonna want to win. You know, he want to coach his players to win, just as the gentleman who's on the other side, on the East Carolina side, he wants to coach his players to win. I think it's gonna be a good game. It's gonna be close. Brooke, I hope you're right with it. 34-17, State winning. I really do.
I hope I am too.
But I tell you what,
is she right? She need to play the lottery.
If State wins 34-17, State, Blake, I buy you a steak dinner.
Okay, deal.
And can I come too?
No.
Henry did.
This is for State fans.
Yes, only. It's
All
exclusive.
State fans
right.
only.
NC State, I'm gonna throw another little fact to you guys to make you get that 34-17. NC State is returning 6 out of the 7 offensive linemen. There's gonna be protection all night long for this kid to throw. If East Carolina's in that backfield, y'all got a long season.
Right. You're right. And then, like I said too, the bad thing about first games, it's easy to get injury prone. So you have to look at that. If a lineman goes down, then you have to bring the next man up. Is the next man ready? That's the thing you got to think about. You know, in which that goes both ways. Is the next man ready? You got to worry about things like that. So it's and you can't in games like this right here, what you call rivalry games, you can't really like get so hyped up or caught up in the moment that you forget about what you're really there for.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen games like rivalry games where somebody does something stupid, get a personal foul, and it costs the team the game. You know, goes down, make a late hit, pushes the guy in the back. The thing that I hate the most is the jaw jacking, when guys start jaw jacking a lot, because if you can play, just keep your mouth closed and prove to the other guy, I'm better than you, and just do your job. You know, all that talking don't mean nothing unless you back it up.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you said that. There was a young man, Xavier Smith, went on the radio this week. He's East Carolina player, things like senior, and he basically said respectfully, there's nothing NC State does that concerns me, I'm not afraid of NC State. So the Jaw Jackins already started.
Yeah,
and
that's the mentality you should have, though. That's the mentality you should have.
Yeah. I don't have no problem with that if you back it up. But I don't know. Well, you said this guy plays defense, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So he's on defense and he doesn't make one tackle the whole game. He he didn't do anything. He just ran his mouth and got himself punished out on the field. So make sure if you're gonna say something that you like, look, I can back up what I say. If he go out there and cause turnovers, or if he just, even if he don't cause turnovers, but he causes problems all day and disrupt the offense, then hey, I got respect for him.
Yeah. Absolutely. So right now it's 0-0. We got a 34-17 prediction, bold by a state contributor. Dexter, what was your prediction? What'd you get? Now, mind you, Vegas at 11 points.
I think if NC State comes and play like they should, and really play ball like they should, I think they need to score. But I think it'll be a high scoring game on both sides because one team is not going to, with it being like it is, one team is not going to let somebody come in and punish them like that in their house. If I can understand if East Carolina had a just bad team, but the gentleman that's there now, he's really trying to bring him up. I think last year he did a good job.
Yeah,
I think he's putting confidence in his guys. Like, hey, you guys can play with anybody.
Yeah.
So the thing is, Brooke, I go with your 34, but I say like 34-30. I go with something like that, 34-30. Look, y'all might think I'm crazy, but it wouldn't surprise me if the score was something like 42-34.
I give NC State's defense a little bit more credit than that. I have to. I think their defense probably is not going to allow 30 some points. That's just my opinion.
I mean, is that the same defense that Sam Howell was playing pretty much by himself on last year?
Ooh. Yeah, you're right, nephew, pretty much. Yeah. All right, 40 points. 40 points. They got quiet on us all of a sudden.
Yeah. I want to know their record predictions for the season.
I thought the screen froze up, to be honest with
you. I'm older now, so I don't catch things as fast as I normally do. But did you go back to the Carolina game? Won't y'all winning and lost in the last 2 minutes?
That's my thing.
And your Heisman Trophy winner, supposedly Sammy Boy. What happened? I mean, y'all had him already like the Heisman Trophy. In fact, didn't y'all have him pose with the trophy like this right here? Something he was doing something like that right there.
The way he was
that was John's bowl game.
And then at the end of the game, at the end of the state game, he was posing like this.
That's gonna be the thumbnail.
I'm just saying, and I mean all the hype because we didn't hear anything about NC State last year, but we heard about Sam, and we were glad that Mac is back. I can't hear him. Mac is back, and the Mac attack. Y'all must have been talking about the Big Mac from McDonald's. That's what y'all was talking about, right? The Big Mac from McDonald's. I understand.
Hey, I'm gonna let you have your moment.
We're just talking about Sam. It was good to me because y'all hyped it up. Sam, I am. Just about like the cat in the hat. Sam, I am. Y'all made a rhyme out that thing. Sam,
I am. Never had it because when November get here, that day after Thanksgiving, it's gonna be some slow singing and flower bringing in Raleigh. That's all I'm saying.
I hear you talking. We just kept talking about Sam last year, and boy, y'all stuck. Woo! I'm telling you, when y'all went up by 2 touchdowns, that's the only time I heard Carolina fans' mouth all year. They went to cheering, went to breakdancing. Everybody started running around Franklin Street. We got this. Don't went to drinking and everything. Forgot all about the game. Next thing I know, I see Sam doing like this. He was like that right there. We lost.
You been out there?
Look. He brought it up. I'm just letting him know. He the one. I wasn't even gonna say nothing about the game last year. He brought it up.
You had to stir the pot a little bit.
Sam.
Now I'm a size thing a little bit. You know, all the viewers know we like to talk HBCU.
Mhm.
Also this week, we have what they call now the Duke Mayo Classic. We used to call it the Aggie Eagle.
Right.
So, if you remember those legendary Aggie Eagle Classics for years, it's going to be, I believe, in Charlotte at the Bank of America Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
Who you got there for the Aggie Eagle? North Carolina A&T Aggies against the North Carolina Central Eagles.
I'm taking A&T.
Mm-hmm.
Now that game right there, Brooke, I say 34-17.
Okay.
I go 34-17 on that game.
Who you got, Brooks?
I'm gonna go with the Eagles.
Oh, brave.
Yeah, I'm gonna switch it up. I'm gonna go with the Eagles.
So
Check a temperature.
we got A&T. What's that?
Check a temperature.
Hey, you know, I had some deals with North Carolina Central. I just happened to know they had a rebuilding year the last couple of years. Had a lot of good things going on. Mind you, there's a couple things that go into this Aggie Eagle thing now, where it used to be a level playing field. The facilities were almost 50-50, apples to apples. A&T's facilities are for a historically black college. Just the overall landscape of the school, overall landscape of the athletic facilities, the stadium, it's literally on a different level than Central now. So I think A&T could probably harbor a few more 2-star, 3-star players in Central, but there's some good things happening at Central. You know, they're not consistent, but I'm gonna go for A&T, Aggie Pride.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I wish the game wasn't as commercialized as it is. I wish it was like it used to be back in the day.
Yeah.
That was the thing. The Aggie Eagle was the thing, you know, in the 90s and early 2000s, and it kind of went away. And now everything has to be NIL or has to be Duke's Mayo or Chick-fil-A kickoff, this, that, and other stuff. Still doesn't have the same flair. It's good to see these kids play in a nice big old stadium, and I could be wrong with where they're playing, but I do believe it is in Charlotte. So
You are correct. It is in Charlotte. If I'm not mistaken.
okay,
It is in Charlotte this weekend.
so Mr. Smith, before we
Yes,
go,
sir.
we also want to highlight another HBCU this week. Want to highlight the Elizabeth City State
Mm-hmm.
Vikings. You
Yes,
have
sir.
some family ties to Elizabeth City. What? Tell us about Elizabeth City for anyone who's watching. You know, someone in high school who may not know about Elizabeth City. Give us a little bit about Elizabeth City academically and sports.
Okay. Well, first of all, I had never heard of Elizabeth City prior to my brother receiving a scholarship down there to play football. I had never heard of the place, didn't know it existed. I remember the first game he played was ironically against North Carolina Central, and they lost 13-7. But it was a good game. It was a night game. I just remember it being a long ride. It was like 3 hours just one way, and I was like, man, we'll never get to the game. I'm serious. I'm like, we'll never get to the game. It was the first time, and he and I often talk about this. It's the first time that I heard an actual band play songs that I heard on the radio. I didn't know you could do that at the time. And then I really didn't know because you know at Princeton it was dun 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 dun. That's how you hear it. And I thought we were throwing down, you know. But it was the first time I actually heard a band play actual song on the radio and actually had movements and stuff like that. And that was something different. The players, although not quite the size as what you would say guys at Alabama, State, UNC, not like that, but those guys were huge. You know, and of course at the same time, like my brother's 18, I'm 8, so it's 10 years between us. And so I'm looking at these guys. These guys are huge. It was a small college, but it has a lot of history. It was chartered back in 1891. From 1891 to 1939, it was called the Elizabeth City Colored Normal School. It's called the Colored Normal School, which was the normal name for just about all the HBCUs. I think FSU, they had a name of normal school, normal colored school. And then later on, they got another name. Back in then in 19 when was it? I had it in here. I'm looking at my notes, y'all. Forgive me. 63 to 69, it was called Elizabeth City State Teachers College, and then
Okay.
from there, in July 1st, 1969, it became Elizabeth City State University, and it's been a 4-year university since that time.
Okay.
Since that time, they currently have over 30 undergraduate and graduate degree programs, several online degree programs. Um, just to mention a few things, they're ranked in the U.S. World Report as the #2 regional university in the South and top 10 so far as HBCUs nationally. Amen. I mean, now I'm sorry, y'all thought I was in church.
Hallelujah.
I'm sorry. So yeah, that's some of the things. For those of you out there to go to church, amen.
Amen.
But also, this is something else a lot of people don't know. With them being a smaller university, this is one thing they don't know. The first person I knew that played in the NFL for the from Elizabeth City was a young man by the name of Jethro Pugh. And the reason why I knew him so well was because he played for my favorite team, Dallas Cowboys. And so he was I think they won a Super Bowl. He did win a Super Bowl one time. Thank you, cousin Gail. And they,
hey, you just took everybody to church, bro. I don't know what happened.
all right, Sister Shauna, praise God. We about to get there, y'all. All right. Jesus
Hey.
coming out.
Well, since you did that, Pastor played around.
But, yeah, Jethro Pugh that came from Elizabeth City. He went to the NFL. A gentleman by the name of Johnny Walton. He became the quarterback. He was a backup quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles. And then once the first USFL got started, he became the quarterback for the Boston Breakers. And he was joined in the backfield by a young man by the name of Marcus Dupree, who was real good. They played in Portland.
Yeah.
Remember him? Yeah. He was real good. So, and then before he came to the NFL, he went back to Elizabeth City and he coached the football team. And he did that while my brother was there. My brother's senior year, he was there. So he done that. Then there's a young man by the name of Reggie Langhorne. And what's so special about him, he played with Brandon Kozar. And they were one game from winning the Super Bowl. He was on that team that y'all remember that year that John Elway and the Denver Broncos did what they called the drive, went 99 yards, ended up going to the Super Bowl. If you haven't seen it, like in the 90s, that gentleman was on that team right there. And they also had some other people, Larry Johnson. I don't know who he is, but he's right now he was in the NFL and he was a linebackers coach at Penn State. Also, basketball, they had a young man by the name of Mike Gale who played in the ABA and the NBA. He played with the San Antonio Spurs, and I've actually seen his jersey hanging in the gym. I've seen his jersey. I've never met him, but I have seen his jersey in the gym. There's a young man, two of these gentlemen right here. They went to school with my sister. They were there at the same time. She was there. Bobby Futrell and Tim Cofield, and both of them played in the NFL, and one played in the CFL. I think Bobby played. Was it Bobby? I'm sorry. Bobby played for the Buccaneers for 5 years, and he also played in the USFL. Tim played for the Jets, I believe. In fact, my brother went to an exhibition game at Carter Finley Stadium. The Jets played somebody, but he went there and he saw Cofield because I think Cofield was either a freshman when my brother was a senior. I believe that's how it was. But he knew him and he knew of him. There's a gentleman, y'all probably know this guy. Remember this guy? A guy named Everett McIver, played for the Dallas Cowboys some years back. He was from Elizabeth City too.
Yeah,
all those people came from Elizabeth City, man.
Yeah. A guy named Ronald Lee. He played for the New England Patriots. He's a former defensive end for the New England Patriots. I think he played back when they didn't have no face mask and they had a little rubber thing on his head. I think that's when he played. I don't know him too well.
So what you're saying, man, is Elizabeth City has a plethora of notable alums. It's great academically. I also believe Jeff Bezos' ex-wife, when she was handing out all those millions and billions of dollars, Elizabeth City was one of the ones who benefited from a nice size grant to allow school to utilize in different ways. Am I right?
Yeah, she did that. One of you guys, gentleman by the name of Kenny Williams, he went to UNC for a while. He ended up in the NBA with Indiana Pacers, but he went to UNC for a while, and I think he had some academic problems, so he ended up going to Elizabeth City. But when I tell y'all this, y'all not gonna believe this. He and I played basketball together one summer. My sister was in summer school, and I went down to play basketball in the gym. and he was probably about in the 7th or 8th grade, and he was probably like 6'5" or 6'6" then.
Wow.
In the 7th grade. Yeah, he was tall, and we was in there playing basketball. I didn't know who he was, but everybody on campus knew him because he came in and played basketball with us. And he played, even while in the middle school, he played like a grown man then. So I knew he was gonna be. I knew he was gonna go somewhere. I knew he was gonna be good. But he was there. Sean Walker, who used to be the former head coach at Grambling State, he has the men. I think he has the men's basketball program now. There's another gentleman that played football there, Rayshawn Askew. He was in the NFL in the Canadian League. Anthony Hilliard, I remember him. He was the CIA Player of the Year, and he went over to New Zealand, I guess in the NBL. I don't know too much about that. Some of these people I heard of, some of these people I don't know too much about. But and there was a young lady that this young lady here, Tanisha Lewis, she actually played at NC State, and now she's the head coach of the basketball team.
Okay.
So Miss Tanisha Lewis is done. I didn't know that at the time. You was talking about the academic part. They're the only school, I think, in North Carolina, the only 4-year school in North Carolina. It might be the only school in the U.S., but y'all don't hold me to that. But they have a degree program now dealing with drones.
Wow.
Okay.
I don't know if it's flying drones. I don't know exactly what it is. I didn't get a chance to look it up, but I know they have that degree program dealing with drones. Also, I think marine biology is down there also.
Yeah, marine biology in that area. Yeah.
Yeah, because they're right there on the water. It's a small campus, but it's a pretty campus. It's a nice campus. A lot has changed from the first time I was down there.
I would say I agree with you. To highlight HBCUs, if you're not familiar with Elizabeth City, it is in the North Carolina school system of colleges. Therefore, if you're in state, it's going to be a whole lot cheaper than going to your private university. So any of our viewers who've never heard of Elizabeth City or you've heard of them but just don't know enough about, we're highlighting Elizabeth City State. They are the Vikings. Usually you can find Elizabeth City football season usually kicks off with a Down East Classic.
Well, this weekend here, they're in Benedict. They're going to South Carolina to play Benedict College. Okay. And always the second week in September, they always had a Down East Classic in Rocky Mount, at the stadium in Rocky Mount. And they're actually playing your brother's alma mater. They're playing Livingstone. And your Uncle Roger's alma mater. They're playing Livingstone next week. Games at 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock p.m. The game is normally a good game. It's normally entertaining, and it's normally packed. I'll be honest with you, it's normally packed. During the whole week, they have different type of festivities. They have a golf tournament that goes on. Of course, you have your Greeks. They have that going on, Greek festival and all those things like that. But I think, if I'm not mistaken, they started this a couple years back when the first hurricane hit the area over in Rocky Mount and the flooding came back, like back in the 90s. They started that then to kind of like build the area up economically. And it's been a blessing for Rocky Mount and for the school too. Like I said, it's been a great turnout the last couple of years. So it's a good place. I like to throw this in right quick too. Elizabeth City is located 50 miles from Norfolk, Virginia.
It is
it's right there, right on the border. So it's 50 miles from Norfolk, Virginia. And if you're a person that like history or things of that nature, the Great Dismal Swamp. If you don't know anything about Dismal Swamp, it's located in that area. And I know where you're going, Ty. It's not like it used to be. It's a 4-lane highway now. But I remember when it was 2 lanes, and I came through there one time at night. And unless the Lord would have stopped me, I won't stop him for nothing because it's a dark, lonely road.
Don't run away from this city now. I agree with you. That Great Dismal. It's dismal. All right, so
it is. But there's history behind it, though. There's a lot of history behind the Dismal Swamp.
Yeah, and a lot of history to East Elizabeth City as well. And Mr. Thompson was nice enough to let us know the annual in-state cost is after aid about $3,700. So if you're looking for a university and you don't want to, go to a private school or you can't do the Carolinas, check out Elizabeth City. I promise you it'll be a nice name on your resume. As we highlight HBCUs, shout out to Mr. Kevin Moore as well, who was Elizabeth City alum. He went to Preston High School. We call him Biscuit and Grizzly. He's such a massive individual, but another ECU, I should say Elizabeth City alum. So, ladies and gentlemen, just go listen. Do your research. There's a lot of opportunity for you to get educated in HBCU environment.
Yes, sir.
Right, nephew?
Yes.
And man, we want to thank y'all, for coming on and repping your school, your fan passion. We always say this is everybody's podcast. Obviously we're Carolina fans, but we like to talk and hear more about your schools, why you like your schools. I think Uncle Dexter bringing the Elizabeth City facts. A lot of us weren't aware of that, and I appreciate you, giving us the awareness and the knowledge. One of my closest friends here went to Elizabeth City, so I think some great people come from that school and go to that school. So I just want to thank y'all for coming on, and I would like to shout out my boys' brand one more time before we get off. Vintage League Co. If you need some custom or vintage tees, man, hit him up on Instagram at Vintage League Co. His name is Taquan, and he's a good dude. And I think that's the end of episode 4, man. How you feeling?
Hold on, real quick. I want to give a shout to my wife.
Yeah.
And give her some NC State facts. You know what? She's a diehard Wolfpack. Shout out to Dexter Smith again. Shout out to all the viewers. And I gotta say this, man. We every Tuesday night, 6 o'clock. We had to go last week on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
Right? And we got in trouble for that. Okay? We got in trouble by my mama.
Yeah. Bible study night.
We were cutting to Bible study time. So forgive us, mother. For we know not what we do. But tomorrow night, y'all go to somebody's Bible study. I know there's a lot of virtual Bible studies you can't go to and be in the building. Go join somebody's Bible study. Go learn a little something, and then you can come back here on Tuesday. You can get this smoke.
Yeah.
All right?
Hey, Mima, I'll be home in 2 weeks. I need some of that cornbread. And I need some of that potato salad. I know you hear me talking to you.
Yeah. Well, listen, thank y'all for tuning in this week. We'll see you next week. Dexter Smith, thank you. Brooks, thank you. Love you. All the viewers, thank you. Love you. We'll see you next week.